Tonight on CTV News at 6. Say it ain't snow. We're learning more about how much fell on the region this week.
You got trees down, you have a lot of snow drifts. There were some major snow drifts over 5 feet high.
4 days later and people are still digging out. Plus, the province's Minister of Mines announces more money for junior miners.
We need to identify the next mine of critical minerals, rare earths.
The government says it wants to give the industry a boost to make Ontario more self-reliant. Ed and Fednor announces millions in funding for AI and job creation in North Bay.
These initiatives help the entrepreneurs identify opportunities, develop opportunities.
We'll have more on what's being funded and why in the Gateway City.
CTV News at 6 with Tony Rima and Rick Wyman with weather.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us. Tony is off. Northerners are still digging out after the significant storm that rocked the region to start off the week. CTV's Courtney Nordstrom has more on how much of the white stuff actually fell.
The beginning of this week came in with much excitement and far more shoveling. A winter storm hit northeastern Ontario hard, with rough estimates from Environment Canada showing 48 to 52 centimeters in Sudbury, 24 to 28 centimeters in Timmins, and North Bay receiving just 4 to 8 centimeters over Sunday and Monday. Where the most accurate data was found was also the place that saw the most snow accumulation, Sault Ste. Marie.
For the 2-day snowfall total for the 15th and 16th at Sault Ste. Marie Airport, we came in with 56 centimeters, which figures out to be number 6 on the list of largest 2-day snowfalls.
On Sunday, single-day local snowfall records were broken in both the Sault and Sudbury with 35.8 and 31.2 centimeters respectively. The Sault also saw the most snow on a March 16th in its recorded history with 20.2 centimeters. Impacts were extensive, with even those who love this weather the most, snowmobilers, having to close trails.
It's like reopening your trails for the first time. You got trees down, you have a lot of snow drifts. There were some major snow drifts over 5 feet high that the groomer operators had major challenges.
Nearly all of the Sault's 600 kilometers of trails are back open, with this storm being a savior for local sledders.
We thought we were just about finished, but now that we have a solid base and we have lots of fresh snow, we're hoping to extend our grooming season into April. We're hoping maybe even to the 15th.
Sault Ste. Marie's all-time winter snowfall record was set in 2014-15 with 529 centimeters. After this week's 2-day storm, this year's accumulation is up to 524 centimeters, and by the end of the week, this should be the most snow the Sault has seen in a winter in recorded history.
I think this was a good winter as a reminder that says even though the long-term trend over the coming decades is a shorter winter, a shorter snow season, if you will, potential for snow, it doesn't mean that there won't be outliers. The long-term average seasonal snowfall from first flake in the fall to last flake in the spring is 325 centimeters.
Corey Nordstrom, CTV News, Sault Ste. Marie.
Sudbury's Mayor Paul Lefebvre hosting an update on community response to the significant weather event this afternoon. CTV's Lindsay Alick reports.
Joined by emergency services, the city's CAO, Health Sciences North, and several councillors, Mayor Paul Lefebvre explained how the first 24 hours of snow removal was focused.
Plows were deployed alongside police, fire, and paramedic services to ensure they could reach residents in urgent need. At the same time, maintaining access to Health Sciences North was a top priority.
From Sunday to Wednesday, paramedics responded to over 300 calls.
And out of those 306 calls, we've already done an initial audit, and I can tell you that there was no impact associated with the delay to get paramedic resources or to have care delivered in a timely fashion.
Mayor Lefebvre says once they were confident in the operational capacity of emergency services, the focus shifted to opening as many roadways as possible, with the first pass on all city streets to be completed by later today.
We've begun the process of widening roads. We have also started clearing laneways and cul-de-sacs. We anticipate this work will take a few days because, once again, traditional methods are not working.
She says the city has doubled its equipment from 80 to 160 and have even resorted to unconventional measures, including the use of snow groomers.
We know there's still a lot of work ahead of us as we still need to address the large snowbanks once all the access has been restored. And we'll turn our attention as well to bus stops and sidewalks in the coming days.
Lefebvre also took time to address residents' frustrations.
When we are through this, we will take a hard look at our response plan, the technology we use, the equipment, and look to improve. But right now, our focus is on the work in front of us.
Litcherman says fully addressing the record-breaking snowfall will likely take weeks, but that the city is actively working towards a return to normal, prioritizing resident safety and leveraging all options available through contractors, neighboring communities, and other city departments. Lindsay Alick, CTV News, Sudbury.
This week's snowstorm stranded about 13 people in their homes on a remote road north of Webwood until late today when the road was finally cleared by a contractor they hired. They live on West Branch Road, which is a private road in the township of Sable Spanish Rivers. It's usually maintained by the logging company Interform. The company confirms it's not operating in the area right now, so it's not maintaining the road, which they say is owned by the MNR. Taxpayers tell us they reached out to the municipality for help in this rare situation, but it didn't take any action. CTV News has reached out to the mayor, the municipality, and the MNR, but did not receive a response. It's looking like the Sudbury Indoor Tennis Center will be out of commission for some time. It collapsed earlier this week due to what officials say was heavy snow from Monday's storm. Board members met last night to discuss options. However, due to the slippery material, the hope of a shovel party was not feasible. The damage has been reported to insurance and the greater city of Sudbury, as the city owns the courts while the organization owns the dome.
What happens is once the snow's cleared, we can lift up the bubble again, then we can assess the damage, and then we can take it from there. But as of now, there's no real timeline. Dream case situation would be like 2 to 3 months, I reckon, just with the damage that will need to be repaired.
Around 10 part-time employees had to be let go as the organization cannot offer services at this time. Bullbring said this is a major hit to recreation in the city as more than 400 people use the facility a week. The Lancer Dome has also collapsed due to the snow, and we're being told use of the facility is closed until further notice. We're learning more about BMI Group's plans for the old pulp and paper mill in Espanola. In a news release, it's revealed the site is being developed as a full-fiber bioproduct hub focused on putting wood back to work. In a collaboration with EcoStrat, the company's biorefinery platforms will produce biofuels, renewable chemicals, biogas, engineered wood products, including mass timber and other advanced technologies. BMI Group has acquired 9 former pulp and paper mills across Canada with the intention of repurposing them. Time for our first check on weather. Here's CTV's Rick Wyman. And Rick, that was a lot of snow over the course of the past week. Some in Sudbury are still digging out.
Yes, and I don't lie about snow. If we're going to get it, we're going to get it, and we're going to get more beginning overnight. Sault Ste. Marie, Sudbury, 5 to 10 centimeters. So again, don't blame the messenger. This is what's happening with our systems map, courtesy of Environment Canada. That system, as you could see, and we had indicated earlier this week, Ian, about periods of snow. Then we have another system moving through, low pressure system, again with some flurries, and again, the chance of, or at least the risk of freezing drizzle, freezing rain as well. We'll talk about that and a lot more, all coming up this great hour in just a couple of minutes. Ian, back to you.
Thanks so much, Rick. There's more to come here on CTV News at 6. For now, let's go to a live shot of Algonquin Boulevard in downtown Timmins. This shot coming from City Hall and courtesy of the city itself. Looking pretty quiet down there for the moment. There's still some snow, but I think it's stopped. Rick will have more on what we can expect moving forward. Stay with us. You're watching CTV Northern Ontario.
Country 91.7. Sudbury's home for the best country music. Listen for your chance to win $50,000 with Pure Country's big $50K payday.
More money for mine exploration was announced today. It comes following a visit from Ontario's Minister of Energy and Mines. CTV's Angela Campbell reports.
Ontario says it needs to plan ahead, building more mines for the future, since global demand for critical minerals is accelerating.
We need to identify the next mine of critical minerals, rare earths, whatever it may be, that help support our prosperity and our self-reliance.
The Minister of Energy and Mines held his news conference underground at Norcat's training center in Levac. He announced 68 early exploration projects, which will be supported by the Ontario Junior Exploration Program, or OJEP. Lecce says the funding is meant to help with future economic growth in the province, as many prospectors face challenges finding capital to keep going.
Every discovery starts with prospectors and exploration companies taking on the highest risks in the mining cycle. Before there is a resource, before there's a mine, before there's a return. Early stage exploration is high risk and offers no guarantees.
The minister says there's a lot of uncertainty in early mine exploration, with a 1 in 1,000 chance those projects become a mine. Timelines, costs, and location challenges make it difficult for junior companies to attract private investors to move forward.
We live in a vast northern frontier, and it's a balance of science and luck for prospectors and those on the frontier of discovery. They need to make sure that there are some government efforts, from permitting to funding, to reduce the risk.
Lecce says it could take 7 to 10 years from when a deposit is found to when it's extracted for economic value. The minister added that for every dollar invested, $2.50 is mobilized by private investors. Angela Campbell, CTV News, Levac.
$4.5 million today from FedNor to support 6 strategic initiatives to support Canada's defense sector and accelerate AI adoption, innovation, job creation, and business growth, all in the North Bay area. As part of the announcement, Innovation Initiatives Ontario North will receive more than $2.5 million to support its Step Forward Entrepreneurs program, kickstart its Ignite AI program, and extend its Skills Development Placement program. It's expected to support close to 150 businesses and create 120 jobs. Meanwhile, Canada College will receive just over $2 million to support further development of its advanced training simulation wing and to establish a new product development fund to help businesses commercialize new products.
Companies are going to receive education on AI, but also have the opportunity to explore what that could do for their business beyond, ChatGPT and the standard kind of productivity enhancements that I think everyone is kind of now realizing.
This is one of a kind. We have technology, we have facilities that provide learners with a great opportunity to get that industry-ready skills and again, hands-on learning.
These initiatives help the entrepreneurs identify opportunities, develop opportunities in a controlled environment with expertise and with tools to help them grow.
The funding announced today is provided through a number of FedNor programs. A warning from the OPP tonight to be vigilant and to watch for counterfeit bills. It comes after police received a report of a counterfeit $100 bill being used at a grocery store in Elliott Lake. While there's not much to go on to identify the suspect, there are still, they say, several ways you can identify a fake note. They include real money is smooth plastic, not paper, the raised ink on the portrait, the large 100 and large Bank of Canada. They add if it feels flimsy, too smooth, or layers peel, it's likely fake. We're learning more about a serious house fire Monday night that happened in the community of Matheson. The Black River Matheson Fire Department was called to a home on Leslie Crescent around 5 p.m. When firefighters arrived, they noticed 2 cars in a garage fully engulfed while the home behind it also had visible flames. The fire chief tells CTV News it took hours to fight the fire in that extreme weather. Damage to the property is said to be extensive, although firefighters were able to save the home next door. The chief adds there were no serious injuries. A warning from Public Health Sudbury and districts. It's seeing a spike in overdoses and unexpected reactions right now. They add the cause of the increase is this stage is still unclear. Among the key information, officials with community services are reporting more complex drug poisonings involving substances that aren't responding to naloxone. In the warning, they add street drugs can be cut with a variety of substances. If you use, take steps to reduce your risk. The drama involving Castle Home long-term care will be front and center at a North Bay City Council meeting next week. On Tuesday, a motion is being put forward where councillors will determine whether or not they want to reject the board's request for new representation. It comes following a very public split in which the board chair said they had lost confidence in councillors Main and King. Both councillors argue only council has the authority to remove them. Council will also vote on a motion Tuesday calling for the chair to appear before them to explain the board's recent actions. The former chair of the Near North District School Board, Jay Aspin, is in the crosshairs of the education minister, who posted a video on social media blasting him for ducking accountability.
Jay Aspin seems to have forgotten something.
In a 1-minute social media video, Education Minister Paul Calandra says that while the ministry is fixing the dysfunction of the board, he accuses Aspin of pretending accountability is the problem. Calandra has been in control of the Near North District School Board since December, dissolving school board trustees following a ministry review into the delayed construction of a new super school in Parry Sound. In a response to the video, Aspin wrote a statement to CTV News that says, in part, "As you know, I came back to the board to assist due to my experience as they were in bad shape. I was immediately elected chair on November 18th for 13 days when he took over the board. So I find it quite unusual and somewhat concerning that a sitting minister is publicly attacking a private citizen." Recently, at a public town hall meeting with parents and educators in Parry Sound, Calandra faced direct questions and criticism over the delayed school build. Back now for a check on the current conditions with Rick Wyman. And Rick, hopefully spring-like weather is coming soon. I know the equinox is tomorrow.
Yes, 10:46 in the morning, so we'll be counting that down. Spring is finally going to arrive as we get rid of winter for this year anyways. At least it's been quite a week. Forecast radar, this is what we've got coming up. And again, that system moving through the northeast for tomorrow. Some snow beginning late this evening and continuing overnight. Risk of freezing drizzle, freezing rain. Let's check out our current temperatures. -7 in beautiful Moosonee right now. Some sun and cloud Cochrane. Mainly sunny in Timmins at -3. Mainly sunny in Cap at -5. Meanwhile, in Chapleau, -3. Wawa, -3. And Sault Ste. Marie at -2. All with sunny skies. Parry Sound, -1 this hour with the clouds. In Sault Ste. Marie, some light flurries. At least it was a couple of minutes ago. -2, -3. Temiskaming Shores, mainly cloudy in the KL at -4 as well. Greater Sudbury, some sun and cloud, -2. Espanola, 0, sun and cloud, mainly sunny. Elliott Lake at 0 and Gore Bay 0 with the sunshine. Earlier today, I dropped by the new Sudbury Center to find out more about camping for cans with Pure Country 91.7. Hi, it's Rick Wyman back at the new Sudbury Center, Pure Country 91.7, camping for cans. My good friend Matt Brown is with us to tell us more about the response. It's been overwhelming so far today, and the trend continues. How many years now people just rally to the cause?
I want to say this is, I think, year 3 or 4, and every single year seems to get bigger and bigger. And what's amazing is every single year we seem to have the same people coming back as well. Lots of new ones as well, but a lot of people who started in the first one have returned to help more and more.
Okay, we're here till 8 o'clock, of course, and Coop will have some big news coming up a little bit later on. So more importantly, proceeds going to the food bank in Sudbury. Of course, you can never have enough food, as I like to say, and I guess we've got some people here on hand as well. And is there a better cause? Sudbury Food Bank, we got to keep the supplies coming in.
Absolutely. They need all the help we can give them. I mean, around Christmas time, people love to help out, but the thing is they need help all year round. And 100% of what we raise here today is staying here in the community, going to the food bank to make sure people have food.
Very, very important. Come on down. Come down and see Matt. Great guy, knows a lot about wrestling and all kinds of other things too. But more importantly, he's camping for cans. I'm Rick Wyman here at the new Sudbury Center.
A great cause for sure. Next on CTV News at 6. European leaders double down on the U.S. president's calls for help with Iran in the Middle East. And the leader of the opposition, Pierre Poilievre, hits up a big podcast in the Big Apple. Gas prices the world over are skyrocketing as the war in the Middle East continues to escalate. CTV's Heather Wright is following developments on the war from Dubai.
An explosion near a Saudi Aramco site in Riyadh lit up the night sky, one of several sites targeted by Iran. as this war spreads to energy sites in the Gulf. Iran is retaliating for a strike that hit its South Pars facility on Wednesday. Attacks were reported in Saudi Arabia, Qatar, and in the United Arab Emirates. The attacks on energy infrastructure have rattled markets and are leading to concerns about disruption to the global supply chain, with energy prices jumping 10% this morning.
Will backfire politically.
Today, foreign ministers from a number of Middle Eastern countries met in the Saudi capital. So far, they have not responded militarily to Iran's attacks, but warned that could change.
As we have stated quite clearly, we have reserved the right to take military actions if deemed necessary.
Here in Dubai, warning alarms go off daily, with the vast majority of missile and drone attacks successfully intercepted. Work at construction sites continues, and there is little mention of what is generally referred to as the current situation. We're here in the spice souk, which is normally pretty busy, and it's relatively quiet today, partially due to Ramadan, but also the government has asked people to work from home, and school has moved online. As Ramadan ends, all outdoor prayers for Eid al-Fitr have moved inside for safety, many bracing for what could be a lengthy conflict.
This war has really gone from a short, sharp Venezuelan in and out to it could be this decade's version of a quagmire for the United States, again, just a la Iraq, Afghanistan, but this one's actually got more impacts because it's economic.
In Lebanon, Israel stepped up its attacks on Beirut as it expanded its ground invasion against Hezbollah, the Iran-backed militant group that operates out of the southern part of the country. Lebanon says the death toll has now climbed past 1,000, with an estimated 1 million people internally displaced. Today, Lebanon's prime minister said his country did not want this war and is asking for negotiations with Israel to end it. As countries grapple with skyrocketing energy prices, there are also concerns this conflict could soon impact the global supply chain. Aid groups are already sounding the alarm about vital relief unable to get to countries like Afghanistan and Sudan. Heather Wright, CTV News, Dubai.
European leaders doubled down today on refusing to join the U.S. and Israel military campaigns in the Middle East. The leaders are holding a summit in Brussels over the rising oil and gas prices caused by the war on Iran. They deflected requests from U.S. President Trump to send military assets to secure the Strait of Hormuz. In addition to rising energy prices, there are concerns in Europe of a new refugee crisis. The EU leaders have been deeply critical of the Iranian government, but none has offered immediate help to the U.S. Foreign Affairs Minister Anita Anand discussed the future of the Canada-U.S. trade relationship at the Chatham House Conference in the UK, saying while the two countries have a very integrated relationship, Canada continues working to create relationships outside of it.
In this moment where we see the World Trading Order being rewired, what Canada is doing is saying we have our own distinct path. We are charting that path to double non-U.S. trade over 10 years, and we are moving quickly in order to do so.
This comes as U.S. Trade Representative Jameson Greer said yesterday trade talks between the U.S. and Canada are lagging behind those with Mexico ahead of the mandatory review of the Continental Trade Pact, CUSMA. Conservative leader Pierre Poilievre is in New York City today as he wraps up a visit to the United States focused on removing tariff barriers between the two countries. Poilievre also appeared on the popular Joe Rogan podcast with the conservative leader, outlining why he chose that forum.
The negotiations are coming up for the USMCA, or the CUSMA as we call it in Canada. I wanted to maximize Canadian leverage going in, and one of the biggest leverage points we have to fight for tariff-free trade, fight for our auto, steel, aluminum, and lumber workers is the goodwill of the American people. So I used the podcast to argue in favor of removing those tariffs, not just because it's great for Canadian workers, but also because it'll make life more affordable for American consumers.
Rogan's podcast is one of the most listened to podcasts globally, with more than 10 million listeners per episode on average. But Rogan has been criticized for popularizing polarizing figures and for not sufficiently fact-checking guests. Two teens, thousands of kilometers apart in separate provinces, plotted to attack their rural schools at the same time. Those disturbing allegations were revealed by police after a tip from Interpol and the FBI. They alerted police in Bridgewater, Nova Scotia about an online conversation a 15-year-old girl was having with a 14-year-old boy from Rivers, Manitoba. One of those teens now faces a charge of conspiracy to commit murder. There's more news ahead, but first here's your full weather forecast with Rick Wyman.
Ian, thanks so much. Nice time, by the way. Forecast radar as issued by Environment Canada. Here we go with that system that we talked about last night. Periods of snow. We've got some snow. We've got risk of freezing drizzle, freezing rain. And again, continuing through, we've got another system. Not one, but two. This is what it's going to look like by about Saturday at 6 as you enjoy your supper before heading out on Saturday night. Overnight conditions, we've got some snow in Greater Sudbury, 5 to 10 centimeters starting overnight and continuing during the day. Sault Ste. Marie, more of the same, 5 to 10. Timmins, a couple of centimeters. Freezing drizzle, freezing rain to Temiskaming Shores. North Bay, some snow as well, which will start later tomorrow, anywhere from 10 to 15 centimeters. Moosonee, some flurries, 2 centimeters in Caphurst. Wawa, 5 to 10 centimeters. Gore Bay, 5 centimeters, and risk of freezing drizzle in Perry Sound, 5 to 10 centimeters as well. Enough with the snow. Here we go. Sudbury Nickel Belt. Snow as it continues into the overnight, into the early morning. A couple of centimeters by midday tomorrow, +1, but 5 to 10 overall beginning overnight, as I said. Saturday, chance of flurries. Sunday, chance of flurries. Monday, some sun and cloud, -2. Chance of flurries Tuesday, -1. -3 Wednesday with the sunshine. So when you wake up tomorrow, don't blame me for the snow because I just told you all about it. Sault Ste. Marie and Algoma. Snow tomorrow, risk of freezing rain, drizzle 5 to 10 centimeters starting late tonight, 4 degrees, 3 degrees tomorrow, chance of sleet. Sunday, we've got cloud cover. Monday, of course, some sunshine. Tuesday, chance of flurries, and Wednesday, some sun and cloud as well. Like the Sioux hasn't had enough snow this winter. Timmins, Cochrane, Kapuskasing, a few centimeters of snow tomorrow, -1. Chance of snow Saturday, some cloud cover Sunday. Monday, some sun and cloud, -3. Chance of flurries Tuesday and some sun and cloud on Wednesday with a high of only -7. Meanwhile, Temiskaming Shores, Kirkland Lake, some snow tomorrow, risk of freezing drizzle or rain, 2 centimeters +1. 0 Saturday, chance of flurries on Sunday -3, -4 Monday, sun and cloud. Chance of flurries Tuesday -1 and -5 come Wednesday. All kinds of sunshine, but cooler on that transition starting by about Monday, continuing right through for a couple of days. And in North Bay, West Nipissing, snow tomorrow, risk of freezing drizzle, rain 5 to 10 centimeters. 3 degrees your high. Chance of flurries on Saturday +1. 0 Sunday, chance of flurries. Monday, some sun and cloud -3. Tuesday, chance of flurries -1, and Wednesday some cloud cover -4. My executive director, producer, Lillian Pakula, pick of the day, please. Here we go. Yes, I love this one. Thank you, Bev Bell from Mattawa, of course. This is Matilda, the dog. Not happy with the weather whatsoever. Matilda, beautiful dog, by the way. A little soggy, but that's okay. Great weather shot there. Thanks, Bev, for that. Coming up after the break, we go back to the New Sudbury Centre as Pure Country 91.7. Camping for Cans continues up until 8 o'clock. Coop, of course, who does the morning show along with Josh, will have the latest on the Tozos and big donations coming up. Hi, it's Rick Wyman along with Coop from Pure Country 91.7. We're camping for cans here, and we've got just over an hour to go. And the response this year, Coop, tell me all about it. I understand it's been fantastic.
It's been amazing. You know, this Sudbury community never ceases to amaze me. You know, we're coming out of a crazy week in Sudbury, and we're very aware of that. We've been calling it Snowmageddon. Monday and Tuesday were just wild. We actually debated, do we postpone this event? Do we put it off to another date? But you know what? It came down to the city is moving a little bit more, which is great. Shout out to the crews moving snow around, but also for this event particularly, the need is still there just as much as always. And we figured, you know what? Full steam ahead. Let's roll with our 4th annual Camping for Cans, all in support of the Sudbury Food Bank. The community needs an event like this. The community needs you and your help.
And there's been some big news today. Tell me more.
Some big news. If you're familiar with Camping for Cans from the last couple of years, you would know that Campbell's Canada has stepped up to the plate in a big way. They love what we're doing in Sudbury, and they said, hey, we want to do it again. We want to help out. And so they actually have sent 7 pallets of food to the Sudbury Food Bank as a part of our Camping for Cans initiative. And also a huge shout out to Maritime Ontario, the trucking company, for getting it to Sudbury, also doing it out of the goodness of their hearts because they also wanted to help out. It has been amazing. It's the individual donations, it's those big ones as well, which what makes these events so incredibly successful.
Okay, Coops here along with the Pure Country crew up until 8 o'clock. Do what you can, but again, lots of soup courtesy of Campbell's, and it's been another successful drive camping for cans right here at the new Sudbury Centre.
The province is working to update its medical record system. It's all part of an effort to improve primary care for patients across Ontario. CTV's Queen's Park Bureau Chief Siobhan Morris has details.
It's the sound of each visit to a new doctor, answers to all the questions you've been asked as a patient before. The province wants to end all that.
Advancing a new province-wide primary care medical record system.
Most doctors are using some version of digital systems, but they don't always connect, complicating sharing test results, allergies, and your health history.
When that information is missing, it can not only lead to safety risks, but it can also lead to unnecessary repeat tests and delays in care.
If this sounds familiar, it's because it is. The Liberals started the ball rolling on a digital health system, e-health, in the early aughts. By 2009, $1 billion was out the door with little to show for it, and the then health minister was forced to resign. By 2016, Ontario had spent $8 billion on digital records. Well, the current health minister hopes to avoid those blunders through a market sounding exercise.
It's really talking to vendors who are interested in working in the space. So do you have the capacity to do this work? Show us what that would look like and how do they talk together when we have multiple systems.
The Liberal health critic and former ER doctor skeptical after a data breach at Ontario Health at Home.
We are still reeling from the fact that this government was shaken down by criminals for a ransom that was paid with taxpayer dollars. And the government is now asking us to trust them again.
This process is really just beginning. There's no timeline to bring this digital record system online and no price tag attached to it.
There is new money coming for primary care in the provincial budget next week.
An additional $325 million to further expand primary care and connect everyone in Ontario to a family doctor or primary care team by 2029.
While the opposition says that's an admirable goal.
What happens when your family doctor retires or closes their practice or moves somewhere else?
Lennox wants a plan to keep patients attached to doctors.
Not just, one time so we can announce it before an election year.
Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Sudbury area MPPs are continuing to speak up against the Life Labs testing facility closure. The closure is slated to happen in the spring, which will result in the loss of 40 jobs. MPPs argue it will impact Northerners' ability to have adequate access to health care. France Gelina said the Auditor General of Ontario looked into the lab services provided by private labs and hospitals.
It was her conclusions. There were two. The first is that Northern Ontario does not get equitable access because of the privatization. And second, that we pay twice as much to do the work in the private sector than if we would have it done by our hospitals.
Well, if we had to wait 10 hours and Life Labs is not providing samples in a timely manner and people are panicking, how many more hours are people going to have to wait? And you know how my father's hemoglobin levels fluctuate and they drop very, very quickly. And I think hours matter. And for people whose lives are in the balance, hours really, really matter.
While Life Labs did not respond to CTV's request for a comment today, back in January, a spokesperson wrote in part, there will be no impact to patient access or to Life Labs, a patient service center in the area as a result of this change. Test turnaround times and patient care will continue to meet Life Labs' high standards and Ministry of Health requirements. The Ministry of Health adding today, Life Labs, not the Ministry of Health, is responsible for their own service delivery and operations. We are not involved in those decisions. However, we have been assured that there will be no impact to service delivery. According to MPP Jamie West, 16 communities and organizations have passed motions or sent letters to the Premier disagreeing with the closure. The Timmins Library's main branch will reopen tomorrow. The city closed the library yesterday because of heavy snow accumulation on the roof. Today, after an assessment by Rivard Engineering, the city says the building has been deemed safe to reopen while snow continues to be removed from the roof. Well, Mother Nature's doom and gloom this week might have put a bit of a damper on March break fun this week, but it hasn't stopped the folks at Science North. In fact, both Science North and Dynamic Earth are back after a short 2-day hiatus and are back up and running.
And I just want to say, we're so grateful for all of the snow clearing crews, the essential services or emergency responders, all of those who were able to get our community back up and running, but then also our staff and our contractors as well over the last few days. To give you an interesting stat, over the past couple of days, we've had to haul about 210 dump truck loads of snow off of our property, which is pretty staggering.
According to SEGAM, more than 1,700 people were welcomed to both facilities today. That's Science North and Dynamic Earth. They'll see typically over 13,000 over the course of March break. Among some of the big things at Science North to catch right now, an interactive illusion exhibit called Phenomena, an IMAX release of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles 2 for those feeling the nostalgia. They'll be open for the rest of the March break right up until Sunday from 10 till 5. There are new signs summer is just around the corner. Reservations for the MS Chichimon are now open. Now 52 years old, the majestic big canoe, as she's known in some circles, will set sail this year, May 1st to October 18th. The crossings between South Baymouth on Manitoulin Island and Tobermory typically take about 1 hour and 45 minutes to 2 hours. Last year, they marked a 1.2% increase in ridership, a 4.7% increase in vehicle traffic, and there were 887 crossings. Still ahead on CTV News at 6. Things got wild down in Saginaw for our Sioux Greyhounds with playoff placements on the line. More on that in a moment.
Clothing provided by Laura, Melanie Lynn.
Sault College's women's hockey team is once again playing for a national championship, and the college is inviting locals to come watch from afar. The women's squad is in St. Louis for the culmination of the Division II hockey season and their shot at a 4th consecutive national title. It will be the Battle of the Cougars as the Sioux takes on the Assiniboine Cougars from Manitoba. Sault College dominated its semi-final match with a 7-0 victory over the University of St. Thomas.
We're so proud, and not only is it a testament to the hard work that those women put on the ice, it's also the school spirit that comes around teams like this. Varsity sport is such an important part of post-secondary experience, and I think that the college has really put this at the forefront of the student experience.
Tonight's game marks the final time the Sault College women will play in Division II as the team advances to Division I next season. The game is already underway. Go blue and white. Well, it was an exciting back and forth between the Sault Greyhounds and Saginaw Spirit last night.
Off the body of Harper, he's jammed up to know where the puck was. Brown in front, Andrew, the open man, they score.
The Hounds needing as many wins as possible this week to secure home ice advantage for the playoffs. Unfortunately, the Spirit would get the final goal in this one, winning 4-3. That drops the Hounds into 5th spot in the West, but it's not over yet. The Hounds will get a rematch at the GFL Center, Friday night. The North Bay Battalion are in the same spot in the East. They're sitting 5th, 2 points back from the Peterborough Petes heading into the final weekend of regular season action. The troops will be looking for a win tonight against the Brampton Steelheads in the Gateway City. Puck drop is 7 o'clock. And the playoffs begin tonight for the Sudbury Cubs. They'll face off against the Kirkland Lake Gold Miners. Tonight in round 1 action, the Cubs will have home games played at TM Davies Arena in Lively as the Countryside Arena is being used for U20 National Curling Championships. And the Elliott Lake Vikings are making a big return to the NOJHL. The league announcing today that the team has been reinstated for the 2026-2027 season. It's set to coincide with the reopening of the city's ice pad, the Rogers Arena, this fall. The Little Native Hockey League is hosting their tournament in Markham this week. CTV's Sean Leathong caught up with several Northern players competing.
There are tiny players.
We're going to get the puck and score.
All the way to the biggest, with fans packing the arena. It's called the Little Native Hockey League, but words used to describe this event are anything but little.
It's grounded in culture. It brings all our communities together. Pride of your people, who you are, where you come from.
The LNHL brings teams from First Nations from all across Ontario. Over 270 teams in 10 arenas come to Markham for this 4-day tournament. Gerard Pelche is an organizer and a former professional player who took part in the first LNHL as a kid back in 1971.
And it was really nice to represent my First Nations at the time. I remember that. I am playing for Wiki.
Wiki, or Wikwemekong First Nation on Manitoulin Island, has a team skating in yellow and purple. Girls playing in the oldest competitive division, and they embody this tradition.
I've been playing since I was really small, and I love it. It's like my favorite time of year.
Many players living elsewhere come here to join their First Nation team. The common lessons are teamwork, cooperation, and pride. After a win, Coach Ruby Trudeau from Wikwemekong is emotional.
I really want to say I'm proud of you all.
Because many of her players are in their final year. But when players graduate, there's plenty to take their place. At the rink next door, some U9 players are taking part in their first LNHL. Here from Brunswick House First Nation, 4 hours north of Sault Ste. Marie.
It's a good tournament and everyone scores and some people don't.
Coach Taylor Tangi played here as a kid, and now she's coaching her own kids along with her father and sister.
They work so hard, and their smiles say it all.
Sean Leathong, CTV News.
A bidding war for a famous actress's project and burning ambition in the documentary world. David Daniel has the latest in tonight's Hollywood Report.
Family means nobody gets left behind or forgotten.
Disney hasn't forgotten the billion-dollar success of Lilo and Stitch. It's announced a sequel to the live-action family film is due to arrive in theaters Memorial Day weekend 2028. And a decade after Incredibles 2 soared onto the big screen, Disney has slated Incredibles 3 for June 16, 2028, 3 weeks after Lilo and Stitch 2.
They're the glue that hold communities together.
Lionsgate has won a bidding war for Jane Fonda's next movie, The Correspondent, based on Virginia Evans' best-selling novel. The two-time Oscar winner is set to play a retired lawyer and avid letter writer who's forced to deal with a painful chapter of her past.
The press were saying Maiden are dead. We have grunge.
You see there, I've got throat cancer. It's my brother. He could die. We were just up against it. And I like that. That's a challenge.
Iron Maiden, Burning Ambition features the heavy metal legends reflecting on their half-century of music. The official trailer just debuted. The documentary arrives in theaters for a limited run May 7th. Hanging with Eddie in Hollywood, I'm David Daniel.
The war in Iran continues to affect global markets today. Iran's attack on 2 oil refineries in Kuwait caused global oil prices to jump again. West Texas Intermediate crude was up about 0.5% this morning, trading just below $97 a barrel. Brent crude briefly rose above $1.19 per barrel Thursday before pulling back to around $1.07. Meanwhile, attacks on Qatar have knocked out 17% of Qatar's Energy's liquefied natural gas export capacity. According to the company's CEO, he told Reuters in an interview today the repairs could take 3 to 5 years and sideline nearly 13 million tons of LNG per year. Here's the impact at the pump. The most expensive gas in the country remains British Columbia, where it's selling for $1.91 per liter on average. Ontario had the biggest increase, rising more than 3 cents to over $1.63. The cheapest gas is in Alberta at just over $1.58 per liter. And a look at some of the closing numbers today. The Canadian dollar is down 2 cents. West Texas Intermediate down 18 cents. Western Canadian Select up $1.41, and the TSX closes the day down $457.69. Here are the current prices for some key commodities we watch. Gold down $152.34, closing the day at $466.45 US an ounce. Silver down $2.48 to end the day at $72.84. Copper down 23 cents, $5.38, and nickel down 32 cents, ending the day at $7.38 US a pound. Rick is back now for one last look at the weather.
Okay, here we go with some snow in the northeast beginning later on this evening, continuing overnight. Ian, greater Sudbury +1, 5 to 10 centimeters again. Timmins, we've got -1, 2 centimeters of snow tomorrow, but not overnight. That'll happen during the day. Sault Ste. Marie, overnight snow, 5 to 10 centimeters and 4 degrees. Meanwhile, North Bay, 3 degrees. 2 centimeters, Parry Sound 3 degrees, 5 to 10 centimeters overnight, and Temiskaming Shores 1 with 2 centimeters of snow. Back to you.
Snow's on the way. Thanks, Rick. All aboard. A passion and lifelong love of trains has a Muskoka man inviting people on the rails to share his interest for a night or two. Welcome to Sidetracked in Muskoka, a truly unique Airbnb experience on board a fully restored 1978 Ontario Northlands caboose sitting on 50 feet of track alongside the Muskoka Forest. It honors the love of railway travel in the most comfortable way with rail memorabilia and accommodation for 4 who want to spend some time in a caboose.
We wanted to tell the history of the Ontario Northland Railway as best we could in just a little area that we had. So as you come in, you can kind of see like certain little things, you know, the electrical panels decorated with a map, the timetable of the Ontario Northland Railway with the logos that they've used throughout their history. You know, as you walk through the caboose, you see the boxcar, the design around the bathroom.
You can enjoy the Sidetracked in Muskoka experience any time of year. Is that ever cool? That's our newscast this Thursday evening. Amanda is in tonight for me at 11:30. Make sure you tune in. Until then, thanks for watching. Good night.